All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. A little stutter there. I thought we almost said commodity rep kickoff again. You know, I got a lot going on. Kind of hard being me, right, when you trouble with this brain. Okay, let's talk about these prices, though. I'll get them to you in a good, timely fashion. So we know where we're, starting off from. We're getting into the last part of the day on the first Friday of the month, which is today. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on. We're in September now. We backed off a little bit in corn. We were higher earlier, but December's now just up a nickel. 483 and a quarter is last. That's what we were during the radio show early this morning. We're in the middle of the day's range, and that's been about 8 cents. So that's going to give you an idea about where we sit. 4 3/4 higher, and that's D's corn, 483. And I say it, I'll ask my next guest analyst, but what's it going to take to put a 5 in front of D's corn? Soybeans, they're a little bit better, 3.5 cents better in the no of 13.72 and a quarter is last. About 13 cents from the highs and about 6 cents from the lows. That's going to give you the idea about what's happening there. But 13.72 and a quarter, we're up 3.5 cents. That's Novi beans. Moving over to the Chicago wheat, 1 3/4 cents lower now. We might have a 5 in front of this one. Who knows? $6.25 is what we've got last in D's wheat in Chicago. That's 12 cents from the highs and 4 cents from the lows. There you go. That's trading weak. Let's take a look at hard red in Kansas City. That's losing a little ground. We're only up a half cent now in the D's. 7.27 3/4 is last there, and that's a penny and a half off the lows, folks. We're going to put that on the watch list. See what's going on. We're well off the highs by about 19 cents, so that'll give you an idea about hard red. Let's move over to the spring wheat. That's going to be in Minneapolis. That's up just 2 ticks in that D's contract, a half cent higher to 7.67 and a quarter. And then finally, let's finish up with one that has been strong all day. This thing took off like a rocket shot. 196 points higher. That's about where we've been since I've been in the chair. 89.78 is last there. That's about 12 points off the highs of the day. All right, let's get into get in with it. Our next guest analyst, that's going to be Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading, and I think he's in Las Vegas right now. It sounds like he was. All right, Todd. What are your thoughts? I mean, I'll throw it out there. If it wasn't hot and dry, where would these products be right? And where would we be? I mean, boy, we can't get going.
And listen, unless we have a crayon to change the prices, we're not going anywhere. It's really quiet. First of all, it's unbelievably slow. I mean, we're going to do half of slow volume to begin with, which is obviously a holiday weekend. Nothing to be really excited about. I think it's going to just one day we're going to wake up and we're going to start to move. But these prices are A, depressing, B, not good because it's not good for the producers unless they're producing a heck of a lot more than they expected. And the divergence between retail and wholesale is widening, which is not correct. So there's a lot of issues here besides just what's going on.
I mean, you bring up the volumes a lot, and I like to hear that because nobody else really talks about it. But you're telling me that the average daily volume in, say corn, wheat, and beans is just not good. There's not a lot of action out there. I mean, if that's the case, I don't like that at all.
No, listen, there's nothing to be excited about right now. Now, the only thing we can, and I hate to use the word hope because hope is a great thing to have, but not when you own a product or you're trading your product. Hope is never a good solution, right? I think that we're going to have to see some action, and unfortunately, in pretty much all markets, there's been very little real action. There's been very little real participation, which really tells us that the consumer, the average investor, the players are not playing. So it's giving the funds a lot more control to dominate these markets. And for example, in the grains, are pushing them lower, short wheat and corn and long beans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if one led to the other, but it looks like the trade to have been on. And again, it looks like we might put a 5 in front of that wheat contract here today. And that means you've got corn and wheat, the two that they're short, really kind of struggling. So who knows? All right, stay right there. We need to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas with Bubba Trading. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about the livestock. That's the other side of the ledger here. Let's jump right in. I've got preloaded the live cattle. We bring up the live cattle board. That'll tell us what we've got going on. And it's been the same, actually a little bit more of the same. MOTS, more of the same. D's down 82 cents. 183.97 is last. That's about 22 cents off the highs, or off the lows, sorry. So we're getting kind of low there. Don't like to see all those negative arrows, but we're 80 cents lower now in D's live cattle to 184 even, and again, that's 25 cents from the lows. Feeder cattle, they're off as well. October's down $1.60 to 254.42. And that's just 42 cents from the lows there. So we're going to have to keep an eye on feeders and live cattle. Yes, folks, they are allowed to trade lower. I know that we've been just on a slow grind higher for a long time. So they're consolidating here a little bit. Fundamentals really haven't changed, but we do see some folks exiting the market right now, maybe taking cover for the weekend to see what happens. All right, and let's take a look and see what we got going on in lean hogs. They were higher the last time we met, and they still are. October's up 55 cents. We used to call that double nickels on the floor. 83.10 is last, and that's 27 cents from the high. Now it's 25 cents from the high. There you go. Live cattle, 57 cents higher to 83.12. All right, let's bring back in our guest analyst. That's going to be Todd Bubba Horowitz from Las Vegas and Bubba Trading. Todd, anything jump out at you when we talk about the livestock?
Todd Horowitz from Commodity Rep. No,
right.
It's quiet. It's very quiet, Scott. Look, we've seen no real change, and they're not really moving too far. There's no volume, there's no action here either. And listen, we're having a little bit of a down day from all-time record high. So I mean, I wouldn't be anything I'd be too concerned about. I think it's very similar to the grain market. So there's just not enough action and not enough trade to move these markets. And I think this is going to be a problem. And we'll see if anything clears up after Labor Day. If we get more action, if we get more trade into the market, because that's the biggest thing we're missing is fresh new money to come in these markets and really move them.
Yeah, we got to see if we have risk on or risk off. We had a big number this morning with non-farm. Anything come out of that concerns you, or should highlight?
The problem is those numbers are so inaccurate, and they're really when you're reporting off the U3, which is 3 months, versus the real actual reading, which is the U6, 6 months. It's hard to get a view, and nobody realizes that every month, no matter what they give you today, next month they're going to revise what today's number was.
That's the story. That's absolutely the story. We revised June and July down by 110,000 in total last month. So the headline comes out a little bit better than expected, but once everybody forgets about it and it's in the rear view, they revise them lower, and that's probably the real story. And they've been revised lower every month this year. So we'll keep an eye on that, because I think that's what ultimately could kind of pop these prices when it comes to the livestock, because I don't think the fundamentals are going to change. So it's going to be something from the outside. Really appreciate you coming on, and have a great weekend. Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading. He's in Las Vegas. We're not. We're here in Nashville.